did make a fabulous presentation for you, and they can't get the internet to play it, so you get just me, so I apologize. We were starting with a Lady Gaga song, Maybe I Was Born This Way. How many of you know that song? Y'all familiar with it? Okay. I may make you sing it at the end, just for my great ending. I want to talk to you today about how you were born. The way that you think, the way that you act, the things that you're really good at, the things you struggle with, are all things that you were actually born with. You were born with one of 4 personalities. These emerge as when you're a baby. I can actually spend time with infants and often look at them and be able to tell what their personality will be as they get older. Unfortunately, none of my children were the peaceful, quiet personalities when they were babies, so I didn't have that. This began with a study with Hippocrates back in 400 BC. He started noticing a trend with 4 main personalities, so he thought, let's cut open bodies. And he would go in after they died, and he found that they had more predominant bodily fluid. He found that the peaceful people, who are generally more calm, that they had a lot of phlegm, or mucus, in their body. This is the gross part of the top. He found that if you were the popular, outgoing person, you had more blood in your body. If you were a powerful leader, you had more black bile, which is kind of the intestinal things. And I will say, every leader I know, every strong person can burp like nobody's business. And I've always admired that about them, because I can't do it. The 4th one is the perfect personality, not meaning it's the perfect one to be, but there are perfectionists, and they had more yellow bile. So very gross, but very interesting, and if you think about it often. The reason I think it's important to know these is I think it's really good for you all to know who you are. What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that you struggle with? What are your gifts that you bring to this world? It also helps you understand people better when you understand they're not like me and I don't understand why they're not. This really will help you in that area too. So the first personality I want to talk about is they call it the powerful choleric. And this is a lion. If you think of the animal, the lion, if you think of the ruler, the king of the jungle, these are natural born leaders. My daughter is a lion. She came out a lion and has always been one. They are very self-sufficient. As students, they're a dream for me to teach because you give them an assignment, they do it, it's over. They're very hands-on learners. So sometimes they actually have a hard time in school, especially if they feel like they're sort of being babied or they're just being lectured to. They want to do it on their own. They want to get in there and work with us. They're very kinesthetic learners. They have a lot of beautiful strengths. They will get a job done. They will take a group and they'll assume that leadership responsibility. Their weaknesses can often be that they will sometimes judge other people or look down on dummies, we might say, people who don't get it the way that they do. They don't like to rest. They don't like to be bored. So they always have to be going. They want immediate results. The second personality, and this is the opposite of the lion, is the peaceful phlegmatic. They're the ones with the phlegm. They're the golden retrievers, is another way to look at it. They're just your peaceful, easygoing people that you know. I love this. This is the one I didn't have in my family. My dog is literally the only phlegmatic in my home, so not with my kids. They are just so great. They're kind of on the quiet side often, but when they talk, they're the funniest people I know. They have that great wit about them, and I just think that's fabulous. And so the peaceful phlegmatic, these are your friends or your parents or somebody in your life who's the good listener. They're the ones that you can go to, and you know that they're just really going to be there for you and hear you. They're very analytical. Their downside is that they're not motivated naturally like the lion is, so you need to find ways to be encouraged or encourage them. They actually work better independently. They're not group people. They're the ones who kind of sit back and observe, but again, very conceptual and really creative. The third personality is what we call the perfect melancholy, and for the animals, they're the beavers. And if you think about a beaver, they're always working hard and they're building that perfect dam, and you just always think of them as that way. And that's what a beaver is. They are hard workers, they're industrious, they're very talented. Often musicians are the perfect melancholies because they're the ones who will take the time to sit there and rehearse and play an instrument where some of us, we just can't be bothered with that. So they're really driven to succeed. They like neatness and orderliness. They need a quiet place that they can control and call their own. The downside to a melancholy is they can be negative. You know, I'd often pick my son up, who's a melancholy, the little beaver, and say, "How was your day at school?" "Oh," and he'd start his whole day of how it went. And I just thought, oh, he's miserable, he needs counseling, And then I said, well, is it okay? And he's like, yeah, I had a great day. But he has to talk about the negative first, and I've learned that about him, and that's been a great thing for me because I'm not a melancholic. I'm the opposite of that one. That is the popular sanguine. And for an animal, you would think of an otter. An otter appears to be playing in the water all the time, having fun. They're extroverts. They're the life of the party, talkative, which can drive a teacher nuts, and I know because I'm a teacher, and I have these in my class. But they're really neat kids. That's our creative ones. They can be very hands-on as well. They can tend to be lazy, though, and they do need that motivation as well. But a fabulous part of our makeup in our human world. Something that I want to wind up and wrap this up with is remember that only 1/4 of the world is like you. That was a big revelation for me when I started having kids, because I thought they should be just like me. And when I understood they were completely different, it really helped me understand them and work with them. You need to know your own strengths, understand your personality, and what is it that you can bring to this world. You know, if we didn't have lions, we wouldn't have nothing would get done. Because they're the ones who are going to work and have that vision and lead us. The rest of us would be, doing other things. We wouldn't get it finished. You need to have the little beavers, the perfect ones in our life, because they're the ones who are going to make it happen, get it all organized for us. And then we have to have the peaceful people in our lives, or the 3 other ones would just be nuts. And then our 4th one, the same ones, the otters, they remind us that we need to laugh and enjoy the journey. So know your strengths that you're bringing to this world. I also feel that you need to remember that you have weaknesses, but you need to be able to overcome those. It's never an excuse. I can't just say, oh, I'm an otter, and therefore I don't have to do things. No, I have to learn to overcome that and become organized and work on that. So we all want to strive to overcome those. In studying the personalities, remember you'll have a dominant one. Some of you may, in this brief discussion, recognize who you are. You will always have a little secondary, a little bit of another. You go a little that way as well. So I'm just curious, because we've got some extra time, because we don't have our Lady Gaga video. How many of you in this brief discussion think that you may be a lion? Is there anybody out here? Oh, I see that those hands jump right up. And finger pointing. I like that. Good. How many of you think that you're the opposite of that, the peaceful one, the little more laid back? Good. I like it. Now, you'll marry opposites usually. Those are the 2 that end up together, but they're a great balance for each other. Who are the playful, sanguine ones? The otters just have a good time and like to have fun, a lot of hands. And then the opposite of that are our perfect little melancholies, the beavers. How many of you are that? You think, good, I see hands up. Very organized. I had a great picture of my kids. My kids are all in their 20s now, and my son, who's the perfect melancholy, he had such a hard time when he was about 4 or 5, not believing that you don't tuck in a sweatshirt. He always has to be super neat and wear a belt since he was little. We're like, Josh, you can't tuck in a sweatshirt. And he just, why not? And he just went against him. To this day, his hair is perfect. He's always perfectly groomed. My otter son is, we call him my hippie child, but if he doesn't have holes in his clothes, he's not happy. And, just shirts loose. He is just the total opposite. But they're great friends. They understand the differences in each other and appreciate that. And that's the whole point that I think it's important for you to go learn more about this, understand your personality, what you bring to this world, and remember what your weaknesses are, and understand that 3/4 of the world are not like you, and that's okay. And as Lady Gaga would say, baby, you were born this way.